Excellent. Okay, well, welcome everyone to another Church Treasurers webinar, and we're glad that you could join us this evening. Thank you to my colleague Andrea Livingston, who is looking after all the behind-the-scenes technology for this, including our ChurchX page and communications, as well as setting us up on Zoom this evening. And I'm Greg Smith Young. I work for the growth department in the General Council, and just started hosting these, taking over for Stephen Feder, who has retired from the General Council, and I believe at the end of December is retiring from the congregation he's serving too.
Wow.
So we wish him well. And he did such a great job of this that I agreed to take over as long as I would never be compared to Stephen. I'm glad that Eric is with us, and we're going to have a couple of other guests with us as well. Eric and Clyde, and then later Dave Jager and Glenn Waterman are going to be joining us from the philanthropy unit. So, Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you and lead us through.
Great. Well, it occurred to me that Steve and I started doing webinars almost 15 years ago. And suddenly when COVID hit, it became a weekly thing for a while and then a monthly thing. But now I think we're getting down to a cadence where the existing resources, we have quite a number of timeless resources. So we anticipate a fairly quick, depending on the number of questions, or maybe there's some new issues, but a fairly quick webinar tonight. As always, we start with a reminder that this cohort, the finance folks, trustees, treasurers, and the like, this is one of the ways that we're called to be church, and it's a very important part of compliance, and all those things might be boring to some people, but for others, it's a calling. As is our tradition, I'd like to start off with a brief land acknowledgement. And I'm sharing this one again. I think the first time was last month, but written by David Hallman, who's the chair of council at St. Luke's United Church in Toronto. And it just has a beautiful cadence. David is quite a famous writer in his own, people may know of his writings, but here we are. As we meet in this place, we invite in ourselves the awareness that for centuries, others recognize the beauty and wonder of this place on the north shore of the lake, long cherished and cared for by Indigenous brothers and sisters, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, Huron, Wendat, and Haudenosaunee peoples. We invite in ourselves the awareness that we share with them a call to care for this earth, a call to respect each other and recognize each other as gifts of creation. Today, these places, all the places across the country, remain home to many Indigenous peoples. We are grateful to have the opportunity to meet and work, to gather, and to worship on this territory wherever we stand. And again, thank you, David. So tonight we're going to cover, we've got a few news items, but mainly reminders and stuff. So that's the focus. The ChurchX discussion forum continues to be a terrific place to see people, perhaps more knowledgeable than Clyde and I, chipping in and offering advice on how they're doing things. And Clyde and I will jump in there and summarize periodically. I want to confirm that finally, the 2017 financial handbook, which was on my to-do list for almost a decade, is live, and I think it may be posted on ChurchX right now, and will be on the website this week if it isn't already.
It's
A
already
number of
there.
people have been asking for that. And Dave Jager and Glenn Waterman will be talking about mission service and stewardship particularly because those have significant year-end considerations as well. So with that, we'll get started. So first of all, on the HR payroll side, just a reminder, you've been advised of these dates, I think, in a couple of different ways, but uh, any adjustments for the year end, there's a January deadline there that you should be paying attention to. The tax forms are going to be produced at the end of January, January 28th, and the Benefit Center will be providing the pension adjustment numbers to ADP prior to tax form production. ADP will update pension adjustments, dental codes, the medical codes, all those things based on the what we have on record at the United Church Benefit Center. And again, the minimum salary increase for ministry positions was 2.6%. That is often used as a guideline for lay salaries or salary administration. And the community of faith, you remember that you've got to figure out if there's an increment change as well, and update the minister salaries in team pay subject to your January deadlines, depending on your processing cycle. So all this reminder stuff is available on the church website, and we list it here for you as well. As usual, just the contact information for Angelica's fabulous team. I want to say I'm working now with some congregations where there hasn't necessarily been a history of knowing how church systems work. So I've been referring folks to Angelica's team with some regularity, and the quality of service and the calmness with which they help some new people understand the ADP processing is really, really remarkable. Okay. This shouldn't be new news anymore, but it is a significant budget item in the sense that with the general council decision this summer, there was an increase in assessment, and the specifically from 4.5% of adjusted revenues to 5% for the coming year. And there will be a further 0.5% adjustment for 2027. And there's also a task group that's going to try to review the formula and report back to see if there are any refinements that might be make it easier, or if there's any kind of further refinement in terms of perceived fairness and equity and so on. So those numbers have been on Church Hub for months now, but I remind, again, an important one here, and certainly something that I spent quite a number of years working on back in the day. The insurance program, a couple of changes there. We had pre-announced premium increases, and that isn't the case now. We've been able to successfully negotiate an arrangement where premium rates will be flat. There could still be an increase in what you pay if your values have gone up. And there's also the option, which didn't exist previously, to pay your premium up front. Alternatively, there's a service charge if you want to spread it out over the 12 months of 1.65%. So to some might see that as a increase in cost, but it will depend on what you decide to do and how do you do it. I want to report that Ecclesiastical, which is a prominent faith insurer and will be the carrier. They have an excellent online portal and service capability, and we did provide notice program update, I guess some weeks ago, I believe, but the actual renewal paperwork has been pending these last minute negotiations, which we literally signed off today. So we're pleased with the result, but it will mean that the paperwork won't get to you for another few days. Uh, Another thing I've been working on for congregations, there shouldn't be anyone on this call, anyone, I would hope, since we have a lot of regulars, who isn't filing for their GST and HST at least annually. I think they actually seem to be more insistent that you file every 6 months. Well, I've just had occasion to go back 4 years to with a congregation that wasn't filing, wasn't sure how to do it, and so on. And literally was able to get them thousands of dollars that they had kind of given up on. So you can go back 4 years, and, and you need a separate application. I filed 8 HST applications the other day. And when you're doing them online, uh, 6 of them have already been processed. So literally paid within a week. So whatever complaints the CRA is getting about service levels and staffing levels and telephone response times, if you are taking advantage of the My Business account, my experience at least was that we got this done in very short order. The forum, again, this month, every month now. I hope you're subscribing to it. You can always delete them really fast. Or if you don't, if you don't like to see too many emails in your email box, I recommend browsing it even once a month just to see what the topics were and if there's anything of interest. You're answering a lot of your own questions now, so many of you, and it's been great. And Clyde and I don't weigh in on those. But occasionally, where there's some divergent views or uh, maybe a bit more nuance or a bit more detail, we'll try to come in with a summary response after a number of you have commented. And I'm only singling out one person this month, David Shearman, because he's a minister who participates uh, actively in this, and the ministry viewpoint is very valuable. Uh, and I put it down there for fun. Try AI too, but it's remarkable if you type United Church and whatever your topic or concern is, it's actually remarkable how much of an answer you can get. I sometimes don't even search the church website anymore. I just do a Google, and the AI responses are really quite remarkable. So this month we the whole idea of co-signing a grant application. And that comes up across the country with some regularity. The idea that some group that isn't a charity, an endowment's willing to give them some money, but they need to have a qualified donee, a charity that is an applicant. And what the foundation is saying is, we're not going to stretch our charity rules and give you the money directly. But if you can find someone who's willing to do so, or who can make the case that it's their charitable activity, then go ahead. There's also some questions on Manse funds, insurance appraisals, how to handle gifts of securities, and again, recommended that you check out the forum on ChurchX if you haven't already. And I do appreciate we're talking to, we're preaching to the choir here. I'm leaving this slide up because I've again heard of a couple of cases where, the payroll audit happens and a congregation is shocked that some treasurer has allowed fines to happen. And it's never just the treasurer. Okay, if there are any interpretations being made around CRA compliance, you make sure the whole board is wearing it. Clyde, you're seeing there haven't been as many audits. You're not seeing as much of that as there used to be, I would trust.
No, I actually haven't seen an audit for over a year now,
Oh, well,
which
knock
that's
on
very
wood, buddy.
that's very unusual because I usually do two or three a year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'll mention the National Church actually is in the midst of responding to an audit. There was one in 2012, and there's been a follow-up audit now. So you need to make sure you've got your ducks in a row. Um, One of the specialty webinars we'll probably do next year is on dealing with compliance matters and what to do when an audit happens. There are some good resources out there, but we may try to make it United Church specific. I got an email today that I just want to highlight. Your wherever you are in the country, different regional councils will have different sources of good advice. Uh, the Toronto United Church Council, as the name implies, is sort of Toronto, perhaps Toronto centric, but when it comes to property related advice, it's top notch, and I don't see how that doesn't apply across the country. So by all means, check your local regional resources, your councils might have online. But here's a resource that I strongly recommend to the whole country. And again, the quite a number of people like to point, particularly, most of you know this stuff already, but A, it's a reference document. B, it is something that you can point others to, when you're saying, hey, you can't do this, or this is how you should do it to be proper. I use it a lot myself to say, hey, I'm not making it up. Right. Like, there are certain standards that we've got to follow, particularly around things like tax receipting, silent auctions. My own church we just had our annual Hollyberry Fair, and we had some conversation about what we could and couldn't receipt and how. And the dates for the coming year we're going to again roll out with every other month and perhaps have some specialty webinars. But with the onboarding program and with some of the what we call uh, timeless webinars. For example, we don't anticipate doing a T3010 webinar because there haven't been any changes, and the last one holds up nicely. That's also true for HST and tax receipting and some of the other ones. So we'll welcome any suggestions on what would be the most useful to you, or maybe have a free-for-all, just all questions webinar or something like that. Want to respect everyone's time, but those are the dates for next year. Okay. Appreciate that's been pretty general stuff.
I've got a couple of questions I've noticed. Oh, someone just asked, you usually give us the percentage of total ER benefits plus CPP and EI. Does that?
Use about
What, a
35%.
total percentage?
You're going to be close.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clyde.
I say use about 35% and you're going to be close.
Okay. Did you hear that?
35?
35%.
I would have said a slightly. Now that's interesting. I wonder what I would have said about 28, but
it's just a round
9%.
number.
Yeah. Okay. But we've had the detailed slide actually in a couple of webinars past, in the fall, preparing for the budget. But just the CPP employer contribution is It can vary by individual, but it's, I think, 5.95%. The EI is about 2.3, I think, or 2.28 or something. The and then you've got the pension contribution, which is 9%. You've got the benefits cost, which I think is up to almost 9%. So overall, it is a significant upgrade. And if someone wants, if you don't have that information, uh, flip us an email and we'll get you the very specific numbers that you can use. Greg, anything else?
Yeah, I've got some questions here. Someone asked, should we be registered to collect and remit GST rather than just filing a rebate?
Now, I want Clyde to weigh in after I do. I say categorically no. Unless you've got some kind of incredible business, related business, like if you directly operate a daycare as part of your charitable activity or something, uh, the it you can be filing all the calculating the input credits and all of that. But churches are basically exempt. We are not mandated to do it because we don't meet any of the thresholds for reporting, and we're able to claim GST, HST rebates. So I haven't seen a case. I've seen a couple of cases in the country where I helped uh, churches deregister, but I basically said 99.5% of churches should not. Clyde, are you going to disagree with me on that one?
Not at all. I fully support it. And I've also helped a few churches deregister. Uh, why they would think they would be better off, I don't know, because once you register, you've got to keep almost two sets of books because you can't claim your ITCs on charitable givings. So
Exactly.
you've got some
So
differences there that
so
just
the short answer is no.
it's not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked, can we speak tonight about how to create T4As using MyBA?
Well, if anyone's going to talk about that tonight, it's going to be Clyde.
Oh, lucky you, Clyde.
I haven't touched this since last February. However, you go into your My Business account, and there's a place there for filing T4As. And when it comes up on the screen to file the forms, you can tell it a T4A, and you can also tell it whether you want to file it as a file from another system or you want to actually go in and enter the data yourself right there. If you're only doing 5 or 6 forms, I would say possibly even as high as 10, it's very quick to enter the data in that form that they give you. And the best part is that when you're finished, you print the copies that you need and it's automatically filed immediately. And so it's one of the advantages of the online filing in all of the things that you can do with My Business account. T3010s is another fine example of it. You file it online, it's filed. You don't have to worry about postage or hoping that it gets through the mail in time.
And especially these days of uncertainty around postal service anyway. So if anyone's new here, we are huge champions of, and as is the CRA, for online. Greg, anything else?
Yes. This one congregation, we're talking about pulpit supply and paying mileage, and they have not paid mileage if the person lives in the city limits. I don't know what city we're talking about here, but the board is being asked to consider paying in 2026. And this person's wondering, do other churches pay mileage in the city?
I can give you an example just of what my own church does. We look at it and we round a number up. In fact, in 2025, we were using $285 a Sunday. and we use Pulpit Supply every week, and I just pay that and I don't worry about travel.
You
'Cause
just kind of wrap it into the one payment.
It's all wrapped into one payment. If you're going
Okay.
to pay it as travel, then you've got to get a invoice of some sort, piece of paper that says I traveled so many kilometers.
Right.
It's still taxable income.
Right.
And there is a school of thought. Some ministers might not like what I say here, but there's a whole school of thought around whether that's negotiable. So, I mean, we try to be, the recommendation generally is to be generous or fair, and in more rural settings, it's even more important because people could be coming from quite some distance.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at that when you calculate the amount you're going to pay and just round it up and give you a flat number, and it's a lot easier to manage.
Right. And Clyde and I, of course, are speaking as administrators as opposed to recipients. So no one's ever asked me to do Pulpit Supply.
Well, there's an offer, folks. If you're looking for someone, Eric he's got something he wants to say.
There we go.
Hey,
There we
Eric,
go.
if you
Okay.
do Pulpit Supply, we could invite you over here and then you get some mileage out of it.
There we are. Okay. Well, folks, I'm going to keep going here, and Greg, jump in anytime as
Yeah,
questions
please,
pop up.
please.
Yeah. Just a follow up on because the deadline is this coming month in December. I'm repeating the Canada Summer Jobs information. That's again, as the local treasurer and working with our administrator, we had tremendous success with that last year. You get, if you get the right kids, they can do remarkable stuff on their computer that many of us, me at least, can't. And so we made great progress on things like our music inventories and our database project and that kind of stuff. So there's a fair bit of information here of how to do it. We've had some discussion about there's a question of is there something comparable to workman's comp? And there were some grants being questioned on that, but I've been following up in the last few weeks, and I have yet to hear of a case where folks did not get their grant. So it's still a good idea to consider having workman's comp coverage for your whole area in provinces where and I say this for provinces where it's elective. We do have provinces where it's mandatory anyway, and this is a moot conversation. Again, in Ontario, for example, where we do have something like 35 or even 40% of our churches, it is an elective workman's comp, and in my case, my own church opted out of it quite some years ago when we realized that we needed to pay it for the entire payroll, even though there might be one or two people that we wanted the coverage available for. Okay, and again, I've repeated these slides for anyone if this is new, but these are repeats from last time, and if you are considering the student grant program, the information is here for you, and I'm going through it fairly quickly. Yeah, so this is the update. We in my church, we're probably going to go back onto workman's comp, not necessarily driven by the student program, but the recognition that that way all staff, even part-timers, are covered, whereas the restorative care program provides more comprehensive coverage for people who participate in the benefit plan. But if you have people who aren't members of the benefit plan, the thought is that participating in any elective workman's comp program provides a degree of coverage and is a good thing to do as an employer if you can afford it.
Just a quick
Okay.
comment. A quick
Sure,
comment
go ahead.
on Eric. The last time we had summer student equivalent, uh, we found that with WSIB in Ontario, we could apply for it, pay for everybody for the period of 3 months, and then we could cancel it.
Mhm.
And that way
Yeah.
we got around the need for covering summer student.
True, but it's this is where different people will tackle it different ways.
Yeah.
I think even the extra administration that goes with it, if folks are comfortable doing the requisite paperwork, by all means. But my advice would be, if in elected situations, uh, decide if you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
And we will hopefully, right now, I think folks should, if they're planning to apply, apply. And by that, I mean apply for the student grant program. We're still pursuing an absolute definitive ruling, and we're not wanting to upset the apple cart either, in terms of the fact that folks have gotten their grants. So the next few slides are a few reminders before we turn things over to Dave and Glenn. But again, at year end, if at all possible, we love to, and this is just going to be a broken record. Processing things electronically is really, really good stewardship. It's cheaper administration for the recipient. It's actually cheaper. A check has all kinds of cost and overhead by the time you issue one. So here are the recommendations for the General Counsel Office, and especially important at year end when we have shorter deadlines, for example, for mission and service contributions. There's still the option to do it snail mail, and we use a lockbox approach now, which means that the processing time is cut from what used to be weeks by the time mail arrived and got found and sorted and so on. Again, using the lockbox facilities, which is about a standard thing, but is much more efficient and faster and cheaper, which is what we want to be on administrative things. A shout out to the foundation. It continues to be a go-to. Every small congregation that bumps into like a once in 5 years stock gift or something, standard advice. Canada Helps is a great organization, but the foundation will do this for you at a lower cost as a service, and obviously facilitate gifts to your church and to your specific program if it's a designated gift. And again, we have the contact folks for you, the usual. We're seeing less need and less volume of queries for CRA help. The CRA online registration tools and stuff have gotten better and better and better. But here's the usual contact information for the various folks. Again, my very capable successor, Harry Lee, is always wanting to monitor what's a hot topic. He can be reached at that email. Angelica, as always, is a big help. And so there they are. And actually, I'll just stop there for a second and ask if there are any other questions before we turn it over to Dave or Glenn, I guess it's Dave.
Actually, it's Glenn.
Glenn, okay.
Just checking. I think everything's been. Okay, just one question to confirm the address for where to send M&S contributions. You showed that slide. Someone had asked about it. I just want to make sure we got that right. It's
sure.
Back a couple of slides.
I'll paste it into the chat.
Oh, great. Okay.
But if we're talking snail mail,
that's what I think we're talking about.
yeah. I can paste that into the chat while the others are going on.
Okay.
And of course, we still invite you to send it electronically if at all possible.
Yeah.
Because that makes sure, and particularly again with the year-end cutoff, we want to make sure every congregation gets full credit.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so
Well,
much.
Glenn,
Let's turn it over to Glenn then.
yeah, different voice. Fire away, sir.
Okay,
And I can advance the slides, so just say a quick word,
perfect.
and we'll take care.
Let you handle that. I wanted to cover a couple of things. You have stolen some of my thunder on my first one because you've already covered part of it. So I'll just, before we go on, I'll just say, of course, you folks are going to be getting an Advent mailing to your congregations and to yourselves in the next week. So look for that. But advance the slide. There we go. You've already covered this, but finance wanted to make double sure it was covered, so they asked me to cover it as well. That the mission and service transfer deadline, January 15th, for online banking, for pre-authorized payments. You've got it twice on this whole presentation. So advance the slide again, please. And this is the one I'm going to talk about a bit more. Mission and service statements are going digital, and this is something that you should be aware of. We've been telling everyone about it since September when we're sending the mission and service statements out physically, but they're going digital on Church Hub in January 2026. So if you have access to Church Hub, the statements are going to be uploaded to Church Hub every month. You can log on to it, look for the green Community of Faith published content tile, and this is not saying you have to do that. If you are in a situation where you need to or prefer to get a paper copy of your mission and service statements, just email Nicole at finance-bank-united-church.ca, and they will happily send you a copy to your Community of Faith mailing address. Again, this is an attempt to make things streamlined, make things being able to get to you easily. Then next slide, I'm going to tell you who to contact on that. This got mixed up. These slides are out of order. Sorry, but they really are. So go to the next slide and next slide. There we are. If you're not on Church Hub, or if you want to fill these things out on help, just contact our help desk. Believe it or not, I just had to send a question to help desk at just after 6:30, and I got a response just after 7:30 from help desk. These people are working late hours to make sure that they can answer your questions. So if you're unable to log into Church Hub, or you have a question of how to do this, just contact help desk and they will handle you. The last regular mailing of statements will be in December, and after that, if you haven't requested paper statements, they will be posted online. But that you can still contact help desk for help in accessing those. So, Eric, you kind of stole a bit of my thunder, but
not at all. That was there one about RBC here? Yeah.
Yep. There you go. And I've reiterated what he has in his slide on how you can use your usual mission service number, but put DA before it if it's assessment, and MS if it's mission and service.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to tell you, our finance department is more than willing to help you with this, and just ask for their help and they'll be happy to. And at this point,
and sorry for the slide mix up. That has to be me. So I'm the slide master here. Glenn, the next one.
Glenn,
Are there any questions on that?
Yeah, can I just pop in with some questions here? People were asking, they've received M&S statements by email. Will they still be sent by email?
No, it's going to be all online on Church Hub.
Okay. And someone asked, will we be able to fill out the statement online and submit it?
That's a question that I would ask help desk on. That's one I'm not quite sure on. But Deb, I believe, is the person who's handling this on help desk, and she'll be able to answer that question.
Okay, great. So that April, you were asking that. So yeah, contact the help desk and talk to whoever's there, maybe Deb. Okay, those were the questions that we had. And now a stewardship presentation. Who do we have for that?
Some guy.
I think
don't
it's going to be
know.
Dave.
That's
This,
right. I'm going to give you a break, Eric. I'm going to do the share myself so that you don't have to worry about which slide goes where.
Okay, well,
okay, Eric, but we expect you to stay awake, okay?
That's right. Be good.
I just want to see it. Well, go ahead. I want to see it.
So I hope you can see stewardship right now, yes?
Yes, and
Perfect.
you too.
And me. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can see stewardship. That's important. Now I've been here with you folks before. It's good to be back. Thanks, and good to see you all. I've mentioned before that cutting expenses does not increase revenue. You have to do intentional stewardship training and provide multiple opportunities for people to give and to be generous. That increases revenue. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Last spring, back in 2025, almost 400 communities of faith, maybe some of yours, had an increase in their income by promoting giving monthly through pre-authorized remittance, PAR. Last May was PAR month. Well, once again this year, we're encouraging you to have May and your community of faith as PAR month. Like they say for weddings and things, save the date. Mark it on your calendars now. Get ready. There will be promotion materials and an entire plan you can scavenge and use and throw away if you don't like it. There will be worship resources, and the stewardship staff are here to help you with any questions you've got or things that you need help with. Those materials will be available in March, so don't go running off to find them right away. And I mean, they're the ones from last year are still there, and you're welcome to use those. But if you search PAR on the United Church website, it'll take you to the PAR page, and when you scroll down, you'll see all of the downloads and resources that are there to help you promote monthly consistent giving. I'm also going to suggest to you that you might want to do a soft PAR promotion as the year end comes around. Maybe just something as simple as a little line or a little note at the bottom of your correspondence or on your bulletin, your slide deck somewhere. You know, please consider increasing your PAR giving for 2026. It can be that simple. And then if they want to know more, who do they contact within your community of faith that looks after the PAR stuff? So PAR month is coming again in 2026. Get ready. You may be aware that tax receipt time is coming. I'm talking to treasurers. Of course, you know that tax receipt time is coming. Don't miss this opportunity to say thank you. Please say thank you. Something you can do, 3 ideas you can do here. A good thing to do would be to, if you're printing your own tax receipts from software or whatever you're using, just add a thank you right onto the receipt. Send a better idea would be to include a signed form letter as a thank you. So one letter, everybody gets it. Thank them for what they have given. Best option, include a personalized and handwritten thank you note. The most important piece, and I cannot not emphasize this enough, the most important piece with this thank you note is just say thank you. Don't ask for anything. This is just an opportunity to thank them for the giving that they have done and what that has helped to create a cause, the ministry and mission of your congregation. So tax receipt time is coming. Be sure to include some form of thank you in with those receipts. Finally, many of you may be thinking about doing some kind of year-end appeal. That's a great idea. Advent and Christmas are a great time to invite people to give. I mean, look around, think about it. Giving, giving, giving. It's all over the media and in people's minds. already I've started to receive, I'm sure some of you have too, the requests for financial gifts from all kinds of charities. And this is just leading up to Giving Tuesday. Imagine what's coming afterwards when we get further into December. It's all over the place, so don't miss out. Don't be afraid to ask during these seasons of the year. It's not about meeting the budget. That would be an important thing to remember. It is about, like I was saying with the thank you notes, it is about how people's gifts have changed lives. What did you do this year? What did you accomplish? How did you do your ministry and mission? What interesting things are you hoping to do next year? And how do those activities help people to grow in faith and connect with your purpose? Some things you can do. Good. Put an inspiring invitation to make a year-end gift in the bulletin or on the slide deck if you do slides on Sunday morning. Better, send out a genetic year-end appeal letter. And I have here for you. Oh, sure. Now you're not going to give it to me. Be like that. Anyhow, I will put in the chat a link to a sample that I put together for you that you could use. You can customize it as you want to. Best thing of all, get somebody to stand up on a Sunday morning and tell their personal why I give and why this church matters to me story. Do it during worship and then have them invite people to join them in making a special year-end gift. The most inspiring thing that people tell us works with them is that kind of testimony. When somebody who's often significant in the church, often not, stands up and says, this is why this place matters and why it matters to me. This is why I give to support it. And I invite you to join me in doing so. And of course, we're here to help. You can get the stewardship support you need from my team across the country. You can email us directly at stewardship@united-church.ca, and someone will respond to you within 24 hours. We're also speedy on the email responses. And our other contact information is at that link on the bottom of the United Church Stewardship page. So give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, and have a great Advent and Christmas. Now I'm going to stop sharing so I can see the chat. Is there anything in there that I need to be aware of, Greg?
No, I don't think there is. Thank you very much, Dave.
Great. Any other questions or anything?
Anyone have any questions for Dave or for Glenn or for Eric while you're at it?
Or for Greg?
Or for me, but
Okay, well, and folks, if there aren't, just to say, we'll be back in January with some, with the dates that we advised earlier. But I really would invite you to tell us what would be helpful. If there's topics that you would like to see a deep dive on or even a separate webinar. We're at the stage where we've covered a lot of the core stuff. We've got the treasurer introduction course online now. If there's enough volume, we might run a live one for new treasurers, for example, as opposed to the group we've got online tonight, which still represents, some of you might still have perfect attendance. I don't know, for all these treasurer webinars since COVID. But we don't do these for ourselves. We do them as something that we hope helps you build your local stewardship and helps you support your board. The Heather is saying, please send a link to the new course. Greg, I don't know if you want to take that in. If you come into ChurchX at all, it's literally there on the menu right beside the Church Treasures button. But if we can get a link to it as well, we should do that.
Yeah, I'm just looking for it. You also see, folks will see in the chat that Dave Jager posted the sample end of year letter. which I really appreciate the message about just saying, like, not just saying, but only saying thanks, and taking that opportunity. And I know when I, was in congregational ministry, there was always this anxiety we had about needing to, hoping to raise people's contributions, but taking a step back from that and expressing that gift of gratitude was such an important mind shift for our stewardship and finance committee. So thank you for underlining that.
Yeah. And I want to share a stewardship story that I think might not work in every context. And Dave, I would really value your comment on this, springing it on you a little bit. But my church happens to have some people who are prominent philanthropists in other settings, for all kinds of charities across the city of Toronto. And donor matching gifts is a pretty common thing that we're going to hear about on Giving Tuesday and this time of year with all the campaigns that Glenn mentioned as well. My congregation did that this past year. Basically had a matching program up to like a very significant amount for people that increased either their current year giving or their next year pledge year over year. And I'd be curious to hear, any perspectives in chat or from our philanthropy experts on that. It worked in my setting. I wasn't sure it would, and I'm not sure it would work everywhere. And of course, you need to have a benefactor.
Yeah.
But it worked for me.
Yeah, if you've got the benefactor and if you've got something inspiring that people are excited to get behind as the project or whatever it is that they're giving for, absolutely.
Great.
Not every congregation has that. That of course is why there'll be challenges in some places. But yeah, no, if you've got those people and if you're talking with them, you've already probably learned as a congregation how to talk about money well, and that's critical.
Yeah. And to your point, the testimony, I mean, part of what made this a success was someone getting up and say, here's the reason I'm willing to match gifts because, of the importance of this congregation to me and to my community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
I also added another link there. That's for one of the stewardship pages on the United Church website. On that page, as people scroll down and look, they'll find that there are some free resource theme packs of resources around stewardship stuff. And I believe in the first one, the kind of getting started in stewardship pack, are some sample thank you letters that could be used with the tax receipts. So there's another place that folks can go to get free resources downloaded for them to use.
Great. And I just saw another chat in the chat of some confirmation that folks are having some success with matching programs.
Mm.
Yeah. Great. Okay. If there aren't other questions, we can almost get you out of here for Final Jeopardy in Toronto. And I just want to wish everyone, a joyous Christmas season, the season of Advent and hope and love, and thank you for what you do for the church. Okay, we tell you to thank others, but I'm here to say thank you for doing the heavy lifting and stuff that there aren't always volunteers lining up for. So my joke is try to have an exit strategy so you're not a lifer, but thank you for all you do and have a great season. We'll be back in January.
You, Eric. Thanks, Clyde and Glenn and Dave. And thanks all of you for joining in, and Andrea for running things in the background. And I'll add my Advent and Christmas greetings and hopes to that as well. Take care.
Great.
Good evening.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. And Greg, I don't know if we need a debrief tonight, but thank you for following in some pretty big footsteps, and we really appreciate your work. Okay. Good night, all.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.